I broke into my ex-husband's house to save our daughter, and I'd face prison again to protect her. Sometimes being a good mother means becoming a criminal. When Emma started kindergarten, she came home talking about her father's new special medicine. My blood ran cold. It makes Daddy feel better when he's angry, she said innocently. After he takes it, he sleeps a lot. Emma spent every other weekend with my ex-husband Ryan since our divorce 2 years earlier. The split had been messy. Ryan's temper had escalated from verbal outbursts to throwing things, which is when I left with our daughter. The judge granted him supervised visitation initially, but after 6 months of anger management classes and clean drug tests, he'd earned unsupervised weekends. The special medicine comments continued for weeks. Emma mentioned how Daddy's friends would come over late at night, how she'd hear shouting sometimes, how she wasn't allowed in the basement. I called our family court caseworker, who said vague comments from a 5-year-old weren't enough to change the custody arrangement. I needed evidence of endangerment. Then came the bruise, a perfect fingerprint pattern on Emma's upper arm. Daddy grabbed me when I tried to go downstairs, she explained. He said I was being nosy. I took photos and called the caseworker again. She scheduled a home visit for the following week. That night, Emma developed a fever of 103 degrees. I rushed her to the ER, where they found dangerous levels of methamphetamine in her system. The doctor explained that children can absorb me through skin contact with contaminated surfaces. This level suggests she's been exposed to a production environment, he said gravely. The hospital reported it to Child Services, but the earliest they could investigate was Monday, 3 days away. Ryan was picking Emma up the next day for his weekend. I refused to send her, violating our court order. Ryan threatened to call the police for custodial interference. The caseworker advised me that without an emergency order, I had to comply or face contempt charges. That night, I made a decision. If the system wouldn't protect my daughter, I would. I waited until 2 a.m., drove to Ryan's house, and parked 3 blocks away. I knew the security code, Emma's birthday, which he'd never changed. I slipped in through the back door, wearing gloves and carrying my phone to document everything. The main floor was relatively normal, but the basement was exactly what I feared. A small slab with chemical containers, plastic tubing, and the unmistakable smell of toxic chemicals. I took dozens of photos, including of the makeshift bed where Emma slept when she visited, just 15 feet from where he was cooking drugs. As I turned to leave, a floorboard creaked. Ryan appeared at the top of the stairs, eyes wild and unfocused. "What the hell are you doing here?" he shouted, lunging toward me. I ran past him, but he caught my jacket. We struggled, and I pushed him hard. He fell backward down the stairs, hitting his head on the concrete floor. I didn't wait to see if he was conscious. I ran to my car and drove straight to the police station, where I turned over my evidence and confessed to breaking in. They arrested Ryan at the hospital, where he'd gone for stitches. The lab in his basement was enough for multiple felony charges, but I was also charged breaking and entering an assault. My parents mortgaged their retirement home for my legal defense. My lawyer arranged a plea deal. 6 months in county jail instead of the potential 5 years I was facing. "You crossed a line," the judge told me at sentencing, but as a parent myself, I understand why. He allowed me to delay my sentence until Ryan's case concluded. Ryan received 8 years for manufacturing methamphetamine in a home with a child. I served my 6 months while Emma stayed with my parents. The hardest day was explaining to my 5-year-old why Patsy's had to go away. I told her sometimes protecting the people you love means making difficult choices, and sometimes the rules aren't always right. I've been out for 2 years now. Emma is thriving in therapy. I lost my teaching license, but found work as a parent advocate for families navigating the child welfare system. Some people call me a criminal, others call me a hero. I am neither just a mother who would break any law, any door, any system that failed to protect my child, and I'd do it again tomorrow.